isolate that. Here he comes. For justice. Nice and tight. Yay!
Sorry for the delay. Do we want to move it here?
Yeah, I guess you probably should.
4 verses. So beginning of the second verse or the third. Beginning of the third verse. 4 verses.
We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope that here we will be truly seen, that here we will be welcomed into the garden of this community, where the simple and the elegant, the fluted and frilled, the shy and the dramatic complement one another and are treasured. May we know that here, each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. Come, let us worship together, all genders, sexualities, politics, clappers and non-clappers, progressive or conservative. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation. Rise in spirit or body for our opening hymn.
Let justice roll.
hope. Just a reminder, you are all welcome in worship this morning, and we all worship in different ways. If that means you need nursery care for your children, 5 and younger, we have that available. If that means you need hearing devices, we have those available, as well as a T-coil system. If that means you need something quiet to do with your hands, we have manipulatives for all ages in the narthex. With that, let us deepen into the spirit of worship.
Welcome. I'm Reverend Meredith and one of the ministers here at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge, and I'm so glad that you all have decided to worship with us this morning. And before we deepen into the spirit of worship, I need to tell you about a lot of exciting things happening at middle hour after the service. So in room 5, we will have a self-led discussion for parents. In room 6, we'll have an intro to our faith, and we'll be talking about where did we come from. In room 1, we'll have our Faith in Action social justice team meeting. And tomorrow there will be opportunities for folks to volunteer for Martin Luther King Day with the Walls Project. See Kathy, Denise Crow, or the Walls Project website if you're curious. On Saturday, we'll also have a pet pillow palooza from 1 to 5 p.m. I believe we're sewing pet pillows. I also want to share with you that our church auction will be Saturday, March 28th from 6 to 8 p.m., and we really could use lots of help with this. So if you're interested in helping, let me know, let Nathan know, let Deshara know, or you can email ucbrauctionteam@gmail.com if you're interested. So thank you all so much.
Our story is We Are the Builders.
Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our own town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart?
We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders?
We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all, near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help, my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers?
We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect, stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits. Gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders?
We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate. Call for change. Don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors?
We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise. Solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters?
We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world that we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries?
We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers?
We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, We nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers?
We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art. Bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past. Histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers?
Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear.
Now that it's clear what we each can do, we want to hear from all of you.
What role would you choose?
Who would you be?
How will you change your community?
And with that, I'll invite us into this morning's prayer and reflection. The God that we know when we see love and kindness and hope, whatever it is that holds us together and keeps us going, be with us on this day and help us to feel the roots that we have. Help them to reach deep into the earth, to connect with all of those who came before, to connect with that source of love and kindness. Whatever it is that helps you and keeps you going, let us have roots that deep. And help us to long for and work for a world where all are welcomed and all are safe. And today we especially send loving thoughts to Minneapolis and every other community that is being targeted or harassed by overly militarized police. May all feel safe and all feel loved. If you came here today in grief, may you find comfort. If you came here today looking for health or sobriety or just a helping hand, may you find it. May all know they are loved. Amen.
We have 2 stones to place this morning. Laura Zolke, a longtime member of this church who has been struggling with dementia for several years, has died after being in hospice. Our thoughts are with her and her family, and we'll have cards for several of her family members for all of you to sign. I also want to share with you that the Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who I know is really important to this community and has done music for you all before, has died, and we're holding her and her loved ones close to this church. I invite you now, visitors and members alike, to come forward and place stones in the chalice. The stones can represent anything you're carrying this morning that you want to bring forth into this room. Please come forward now along the east and west walls. With these words, we light our chalice. With hope to make this a better world, we light this flame. Its light is a symbol of the power of love.
I think it may be the understatement of the year to say that things are tough right now. In all of my ministry, I have never seen such a prevalence of, I don't know the phrase for it, lack of seeing a future that you can predict. That's why the worship staff selected the hymn of the month, We Shall Not Be Moved. We're trying to offer you just some sort of support during these months. That hymn is also the theme of today's service. We've been honoring Dr. King in this church since before it was a federal holiday, and I am pleased to continue in that tradition. There's one line in the hymn that has been following me around for about 2 weeks now. The part where it says, like a tree that's planted by the water. Obviously, this is about how you hold your ground, how you use your roots and your ancestors and your training and your grounding to keep firm, not only to who you are, but to hold together all who are around you while the turbulence of the river rushes by you, trying to remove earth from under you as it goes to the ocean. I've thought a lot about how we as a church can act like that tree when times are tough, about how we can hold on until the squalls and the floods are gone. So the question for you as we go through today's service is, what qualities about yourself hold others when times are tough? Who do you need to be your tree, and what are the roots that hold you strong? Today's King service, I recruited 3 church members to offer their reflections. The only prompt I gave them was the title of this hymn. The first who is going to offer a reflection is Canova Smith, a member of the Worship Guild, one of the pagan leaders in the church. She's been a UU in multiple UU churches. That's multiple. Let's do this, Canova.
Yes, sir.
How many other people have been members of multiple UU churches?
I don't know.
See? Okay. She's also a current leader here. She's a parent of a child who's growing up in these turbulent times. The second is Andreas Hansen. He is a German immigrant, a longtime member of this church, nominating committee member, and all-around helper in this church. In fact, there was a table in there that was flipped over for 2 weeks because he was gluing back a foot on it. He's been volunteering with Mission Migrante to make sure people who have food, people who are stuck in their houses because they were afraid of leaving because they may be detained or deported or profiled. He has been driving around helping to provide food for some of these folks. I talked to him a few weeks ago about what he was struggling with this work he's doing, and I said, the church needs to hear some of your story. And so he's going to share that as well. And our third guest is Dawn Collins. Dawn is a longtime member of this church as well. She's a former school board member, activist, even a member of Reverend Meredith's search committee, and a current lawyer. As we prepare to go deeper into worship, I invite you to reflect on Dr. King's legacy, about how we hold onto the ground when the river is high, about how we can stay grounded and loving. And so I'm going to talk to white people in this church just for a second. Unitarian Universalists are always talking about whether we should sing, lift every voice and sing, because for me it is incredibly weird and awkward to hear white people sing about the triumph over the adversity that is clearly enslavement and Jim Crow and a lot of that stuff. And if we never sing that hymn, then black members of this church, for whom this hymn may be very important, never get to sing this hymn. So I want to name the importance of the hymn and also the complexity of singing it. And it's King's Sunday, and we're going to do some of King's favorite hymns today. So I invite you all to rise in body or spirit as we sing this next hymn.
has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat had not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Let our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
A reading from the letter from Birmingham jail. I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds.
Good morning. So I was talking with Reverend Meredith before I got up here, and just want to ask that I'm a storyteller. So I'm hopeful that y'all will ride this story out with me, and I don't lose many of you with the subject matter. This holiday, to commemorate the civil rights work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the stories of the struggle, was made official in 1983 by a reluctant Ronald Reagan. I was 4 years old. I'm now 47, and I have the privilege of watching the fight to continue this tradition get more and more difficult. Our hymn of the month is "We Shall Not Be Moved." It is a spiritual that tells a million unspoken stories. It is a call to action and an anthem of faith. Say it with me. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Thank you. Now ask yourself, moved from what? Or moved to what? To speak things in existence, you must know what you seek. I, for one, don't hate Donald Trump. I don't like him, but I don't hate him. I grew up with Donald Trump and Ivana, his first wife. I remember the stuffed crust pizza ads in formal wear after filing bankruptcy. I used to watch a lot of professional wrestling back when the WWE was the WWF and the McMahons didn't own everything. And I remember seeing Donald Trump in the ring with Vince and thinking it was the most ridiculous arc at the time. I remember The Apprentice. While I never watched a full episode, I saw enough clips to catch the gist. In some way or another, I learned about the entity of Donald Trump without ever trying. He pervaded the fabric of popular culture and bled into our living rooms through the television. Then he bled into our commerce by placing a Trump brand on everything and putting that on the shelves. The story of Donald Trump was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. What does that sound like to you? We learned about him without expressed interest or invitation. Every systemic problem, every ism that supports the status quo is learned in the same fashion. When he ran on a platform of transparency in 2016, we all thought we knew what that meant. And while it may not be in the way any of us imagined, Donald Trump has delivered. He told us he wasn't a politician. Politics is about making agreements between people so that they can live together in groups. To be a good politician is to find effective compromises. And so, Trump is not a politician. He also told us during his campaigns that he could commit acts of violence in broad daylight and still become the president. Well, perhaps he hasn't committed any acts of violence himself, but he has condoned more than a few, only to be elected, re-elected, and affirmed by American citizens. Donald Trump has given us the most outlandishly spectacular story from the White House, and in so doing, he has erased all pretense and spin about what this country is and has been. The transparency he delivered is one of ourselves to ourselves and the country we call home. I asked my father what he thought after the 2016 election, and he said, "Sometimes it's good for the country to go in a different direction." I was floored, but his statement gave me pause enough to pay attention to the conversations happening around the table with my former in-laws, to the conversations happening at my church, where a sanctuary was immediately created for those who were struggling, the response to the Black Lives Matter protests during the summer of 2020, the initial responses to the COVID pandemic, and the narratives around the insurrection on January 6th. Trump's re-election has been hard for many Americans, and the struggle goes beyond your guy just not winning. When the results came in on that night, many of us struggled to find hope for the future because we had to see each other without filters. Those who fought to hold on to the illusion felt rudderless, and that struggle hit different than it did in 2016. Questions like, is this what we're to be? And is this what we've become? Circled in the mind, not yet understanding that the nebulous this in their minds was not new for all of us. And not knowing the opportunity would come when they would see with their own two eyes exactly how not new this is. So, what should be the intention moving forward? With this gift of transparency, I, for one, seek growth in the American populace. Real growth, real recognition, real realness. Things have come to pass that have made many of us violently ill as this country physically revisits the history the dominant class continues to try to erase. Now we get to explore the journeys of our ancestors and hear them call out, "What will you do?" We get to look into the faces of our children who ask us for safety and security and help and have to figure out how to answer their cries. The shadow work that comes with true reflection, that quiet sitting with our own demons, is never easy, and much of the country is in that very unsteady place right now. But that shadow work is needed. It's tough to hold on to hope in an environment where peace is hard to find, and we may struggle with apathy. But if we shall not be moved, then we must do what we can to hold on to our humanity and exercise the values we know to be right and just. As a kid, I shared a joke with my father that stated the sun will rise and set every day as an absolute truth. Side note, Daddy was a philosophy physics man, so we'll continue. Because he promptly told me that that was incorrect, but then encouraged me to continue the joke. You see, my father didn't believe in absolute truths. Everything is relative, he would tell me. I had plenty of discussions with my dearly departed father about humanity and community and relationships and people. And in many areas, I agree with Daddy that there are no absolute truths, save one. Our absolute truths exist in the way we process the impact of our relationships with one another. Our relationships with one another frame the stories we tell and the impact those stories have on others. We can and we will not only survive, but thrive within the absolute truth present in our good deeds and our actions. What is this truth? That we are all in this together. That we are all in the same space moving through the universe. That we are rich in diversity and have so much to learn from each other. That there is so much worth protecting for future generations. With every genuine connection, with every authentic interest in the stories and individuals in our communities, with every act of care for those in need, we can grow stronger. Strong enough to maybe erase the isms. Strong enough to learn from our mistakes. Strong enough to be vulnerable. Strong enough to learn what we need to learn. Social justice cannot be only a Sunday morning thing. It cannot be only a legislative session thing. First and foremost, it has to be a people thing. It has to be a relationship thing, or how can the story be told? So, when you exit the doors of this sanctuary, ask yourself, what story do you want to tell?
And the story of the offering is as follows. This whole month we are sharing the offering with Dialogue on Race, Louisiana. It's a great organization that is doing a lot of very important work in this city and this state. I am in a Mardi Gras crew, and even we went through Dialogue on Race. So I just want to name that. Also, I would like to mark for everybody in this whole church, online folks as well, all during Lent, every Tuesday, we are inviting all of you to come to the church every Tuesday night so that we can have 20 sub-teams plot out all of the work of our strategic plan. So please mentally mark your calendars every Tuesday during Lent. I have a vision of like 200 people gathering every Sunday in this church. Tuesday. Sunday also, but Tuesday is relevant to this. Remember, this offering is going to be split with us in Dialogue and Race. I will ask you to give very generously, as this offering is gratefully given and received.
There are two things every speaker should remember. Put your glasses on if you need them, and make sure you speak into the microphone. All right, I'm on to a good start. I am speaking to you today to address three separate yet connected points. Point one, what it means to be an immigrant. I was born and raised in Germany, came to the US in 1985, and became an American citizen in 1999. Yes, my skin is not brown, black, or yellow, or any combination thereof, but nevertheless, I am an immigrant. I come from a line of well-traveled immigrants. My ancestors lived in northern Italy, southern Denmark, and East Prussia. They left their homelands to travel north, south, and east to settle in Hamburg, a large town in northern Germany where I was born. People have always immigrated, or shall we say relocated. Who among us can say that their people left opportunity, wealth, freedom, peace, and safety behind to come to the promised land America? Our ancestors were driven by different circumstances: destitute, prolonged and frequent wars, high taxes, insecurity, and violence, especially against women, were the conditions that drove them to give up their country of birth, their families, their relationships, to come to America. Let us be clear, if you are not a descendant of slaves who were brought against their will to this country in the most brutal, inhumane ways, or a descendant of Native Americans who were systematically killed, you are a descendant of immigrants. Welcome, brothers and sisters. We share a history. You see, this is the root of the argument that many more things, very fundamental things, unite us than separate us. Let me say it again. Many more things, very fundamental things, unite us than separate us. Do not worry. I will not talk about this today. It's a topic for another day. Point two, the systematic preparation of the United States to become a totalitarian state. Our president has sent National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Portland, Chicago, Memphis, and other cities. U.S. Border Patrol officers and immigrant and customs enforcement agents have conducted major operations in Chicago, Ohio, Florida, Massachusetts, New Orleans, Southeast Louisiana, and now in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I believe that these actions have truly little to do with making U.S. cities or states safe again or deporting violent criminals to their homelands. On the contrary, what we are witnessing is the systematic preparation to accept military and paramilitary troops on our streets. Federal officers behave like thugs and cover their faces to avoid being held responsible for their unlawful actions. To me, this is nothing new. Unfortunately, history repeats itself. Allow me to share a short refresher about my home country's history. In 1921, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or NSDAP, under their leader Adolf Hitler, founded the SA. SA stands for Sturmabteilung, or in English, stormtroopers. This paramilitary organization wore military-like uniforms. They quickly became known as the Brown Shirts. Their official job was to protect the upper Nazi echelon, to provide security to NSDAP events, and to provide order on the streets. They were visible, intimidating, and often brutal in their actions. Soon the brown shirts redefined and expanded their duties. They spied on neighbors, disrupted meetings of other political parties, and brutally attacked and beat up all perceived enemies. Quickly, political and social life existed only with their approval. The totalitarian state was born, was brought to every town and every street. I often hear Americans say that things like that could not happen here. Really? This was unplanned. Remember, Germans said the same thing in the 1920s. Are we not witnessing the very first steps of totalitarian state? Lately, I wonder if it would be not ironic if I found myself having left my country of birth only to relive their darkest hours in the country I choose to make my new home. Be vigilant, keep your eyes and hearts open, and if needed, take action before it is too late. Do not let history repeat itself. Sorry, I'm known as a crybaby in my family. It's nothing new to me, might be new to you, but I got one. Thank you. All right. I'm good. We are now at point 3. Life of a Hispanic family under the ICE and Border Patrol occupation. Operation Catahoula Crunch moved into southeast Louisiana on December 3, 2025, with the goal to detain and deport 5,000 undocumented immigrants. It soon became clear that all brown-skinned people who had to be afraid of being detained by ICE, including U.S. citizens and folks with valid residency and work permits. Misión Migrante is a self-help group that supports Hispanic community in many ways here in Greater Baton Rouge and the New Orleans area. Among other things, they ask for food donation to be distributed to families who are afraid to leave their homes. I volunteered to bring the food items donated in our church to one of the Mission Migrante food distribution sites. Doing this, I was given the opportunity to learn firsthand what it means to live as a Hispanic family during Catahoula Crunch. The person I met first managed the donated food distribution center. Let me call her Mom. Through conversations and sharing of family stories, I learned that Mom was legally in the U.S. Her mother, Grandma, came to the U.S. when Mom's son was born. Grandma simply wanted to be near her grandson. Grandma is here illegally. She lives in the neighborhood, and for the last weeks, she did not leave her house. Mom's husband does not have legal status either. He works about 45 minutes away from home. Every morning, Mom leaves their home at 4:30 and drives the way her husband will take to work. Once she has driven to a major highway and she has not seen any signs of ICE or Border Patrol, she drives back home. Now, with the all clear for Mom, her husband can drive to work, where he lets himself into the business with the key given by the business owner and goes back to sleep on a wooden bench. Later in the day, he starts his work and works a long-hour day. Late in the evening, after an exceptionally long day, he drives home. You might ask why Mom's husband goes through all the trouble and danger just to work in a low-paying job. The reason I was giving for his actions without having asked is simple. He has a deep sense of responsibility. He supports his son, who lives in his birth country financially, so that he can go to university. Mother's daughter and her husband also live nearby. They do not leave their home. They have enough savings to shelter in place, buying shelter in place for several months. Mom supports her family by running errands, buying food, and other necessities when she is not sorting, organizing, and distributing food to her community. In summary, the members of Mom's family display great American values. They care for their family, they care for their community, have a deep sense of responsibility, and work hard under difficult circumstances. They have my deepest respect, and I consider myself blessed to have learned about their life circumstances. Closing words. Just a few quick closing words about the current situation in Greater Baton Rouge. Most ICE and Border Patrol agents have moved on to terrorized communities in Minneapolis-St. Paul. But do not be mistaken. ICE is still a presence here in our community. They work with and get help from local law enforcement agencies to detain and deport members of the Hispanic community. Hispanics have lost all trust in the local law enforcement communities. They are living in fear and, if possible, staying in their homes. Children are traumatized and, if possible, through long-distance learning opportunities, stay home instead of going to school. Fear, anxiety, stress, and depression can be found throughout the community. In short, Catahoula Crunch is still very much alive, and the effects are ongoing and long-lasting for our Hispanic community. Our Hispanic community. Thank you very much.
Right where you're seated, let's do this next hymn.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
Good morning. I was already gonna struggle to not cry before Andreas. Somebody has to let me get the tissue. All right. One of my favorite scriptures is Psalm chapter 1, 1 through 3, which goes, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers." It's one of those passages like the Golden Rule. The exact wording may be different, but the principle is true across many major religions. Psalm 1, 1 through 3 rests on the character of a woman or a man, and their character reaps the fruit they yield. And it has carried me through much, that favorite scripture of mine. I do not walk in step with the wicked. I do not seek to belittle my colleagues no matter how much I disagree. I do not gossip with friends against other friends as some sadistic kick some get from denigrating others. I do not accept money for votes when I offer myself in public service. I do not accept bribes for contracts at the expense of the community I serve. As a result, I'm not a financially rich woman, but just like a tree planted by the waters, I have not been moved. Just like a tree planted by the waters, my leaf does not wither. Whatever my hand touches, it prospers. I have been in community and political organizing now for the past 18 years or so. I began that journey after being inspired by a community organizer who believed his name and his race was no barrier to him serving his country as the next president of the United States for 2 terms. One of the most touching slogans of his was powerful and simple. One voice can change a room. And if one voice can change a room, then it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. Your voice can change the world. And I believe that. It literally causes me to tear up that our voices do matter, that our leadership should believe our voices matter. Amen. Our country, like most countries, had a tumultuous start, and then essentially about halfway in, our country had a tumultuous restart. Ironically enough, what made it tumultuous is that our founding is based on the notion that all are created with certain inalienable rights. What made that ironic was the disagreement of what constituted people, what constituted all. Only property-owning white men who were lured onto other people's land on a promise of dominion? No. Okay. Only white men, whether they had property or not? No. Okay. Only men, excluding the black men who couldn't pass the literacy test or pay poll taxes or survive lynch mobs if able to overcome the first 2 hurdles. No? Okay. Add white women, because black women face the same hurdles as black men despite the text of federal law attesting to a different truth. All that being said, post the Civil War, which ended in 1865, the fights for justice were usually always clear. The path arduous, but foreseeable, with many battles lost, but worth fighting because the war was winnable, though the victory may be far. But that ain't what we're dealing with today. The tactics and strategies before were based on a set of rules and assumptions. Namely, that we live in a democratic republic and that the rules of law that our society has built would be respected and maintained, only to be amended at the will of its citizens. That our government functioned as three co-equal branches of government that did not abdicate its authority to any other branch. Those assumptions can no longer be held, but somehow I have to figure out how to resist. More than resisting my own life being relegated to nothingness, to apartheid tactics, to concentration camp living, because I understand that today's ICE isn't just about rounding up immigrants. More than my refusal to live that way, no way in hell will I tolerate Eden Stephon Collins and all of his brilliance and beautiful black boy joy, or Adeline Isabel Collins and all of her dainty prima donna future ballet star, all things pink and flowery and feminine like little black girl magic. No way in hell is it okay for them to live what my ancestors have already lived. Yeah, as black people, we can say that our people have been here before. But anyone who thinks that offers some amount of refuge, some amount of peace, some amount of respite, some amount of hope that we have overcome before and shall overcome again can go to hell. Not on my watch. Not on the backs of my children, grandchildren, neighbors' children, whether that neighbor is an immigrant legally present or not. Why? Because it's absolutely possible that we all get more than what we need for ourselves and our families without depriving, degrading, or causing detriment to others, whether they followed some intentionally flawed immigration process or not. I am sometimes soothed by Ella's song, sung by Sweet Honey and the Rock. Ella Baker was the often forgotten woman behind the scenes of the civil rights movement led by Dr. Martin Luther King. She was the backbone or auntie, if you will, of the youth who forged the civil rights movement. Her most famous quote is, "Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons becomes as important to the rest of the country as the killing of white mothers' sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until this happens." The song goes, and I need communal comfort. I need the soothing that comes from communal comfort, so I'm going to teach it to you so you sing it with me. So repeat after me. We who believe in freedom shall not rest. We who believe in freedom shall not rest. We who believe in freedom shall not rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons. Becomes as important as the killing of white men, white mother's sons. Becomes as important as the killing of white men, white mother's sons. We who believe in freedom shall not rest. We who believe in freedom shall not rest. We who believe in freedom shall not rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom shall not rest until it comes. I'm tired and exhausted of fighting for us. Even before this point, we have had to fight against all manner of things, including corporate power, where U.S. citizens literally, legally, became second and third class citizens to corporations with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on Citizens United, and how it shapes everything from the push to privatize schools, to our nation being drugged out by big pharma, to our food being overprocessed, overproduced, and worse. I want to say that I have zero cares to give. I want to be able to take my little toys and go home. I want to be able to say I'm part of the 92% of black women who tried to save us on election day. I want to grab my popcorn and Coke and sit on the sidelines that people like me are constantly relegated to. I just want to watch it all play out. But I can't, because of Eden and Adam, Gigi's babies. That is not a luxury I have. So, I shall remain just like a tree that's planted by water, and I shall not be moved. Thank you.
It's a shame this church doesn't have any depth to it, isn't it? So, all right, I'm going to confess I was raised Unitarian Universalist, and this first line that I wrote shows I had no clue that this hymn came from Scripture. Because it doesn't say that the tree is by a river, and stream's a whole different thing. It just says by the water. So I'm going to ask us to just pretend the Scripture that Dawn shared doesn't exist, just for the start. Because I got like a metaphor that I think will help. We can go back to that. Maybe the metaphor is more about how we need to know that the sustenance and support is close to us as we stand up for a world as it could and should be. One piece of gardening advice that they have given me is to neglect your plants. Now, in other words, don't water them every day. Roots always go towards water. If you provide water daily, they have no motivation to go seeking out water. And no, this is not one of those what doesn't kill you make you stronger platitudes disguised as theology. When gardening, you're supposed to replicate the conditions that plants experience naturally. But if the roots are forced to go deep, if they are forced to go deep enough, they will eventually get to the water table. They will eventually find an all-fulfilling source of water and sustenance. That is how they live beyond our care. So maybe the metaphor is about how we need to hold on through tough times, because if we stay loving, stay committed, stay trying to dig deep enough, within all of us, there's a source of love and joy and hope. So let's sing. Those who follow the order of service along, we changed it. We're going to sing We Shall Not Be Moved Again as we close. I invite you to rise if your body lets you. It turns out you have to tell the musician that you've changed the music. While we're doing that, also, Amy, thank you for the music for the offering. So, online folks, I don't know if it was mic'd or not enough for you to hear, but we had violin. Now, let's sing.
Tree that's planted by the We're fighting for our future. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Sometimes the mic needs to, sometimes when you're making a service, you don't have time to fully look at all of the readings and you throw an extra line in there. And I want you to hear the last line that normally doesn't get into this part of the Birmingham jail. And I think it's our benediction. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider, anywhere within its bounds. Go make the world better because you're here. Amen. Go in peace.